I'm here with Yona Klein. We got connected. Actually, his wife reached out via our website and said her husband had an amazing story. He's lost over 180 pounds. So, Yona, thanks so much for the time. And maybe we could just start off with a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Sure. Thank you, Jason. Well, I live in Great Neck, New York. About 42, will be 43 in April. And I was born in former Soviet Union. Immigrated here when I was 15 years old. And kind of, you know, got married when I was 25 and have two kids.
Awesome. Awesome. So, you lost 180 pounds. Looking at you, it's hard to imagine what you at 360 or 65 pounds was like. You know, what was life like for you growing up? Where did your weight come on later in life? Or was it something that started early?
The weight started to kind of come on when I got married, and particularly I changed the job, and a job required a lot of basically I would get up in the morning, hop on the car, get to the office, sit there all day, got back on the car and came home and hang out and watch TV. So basically, kind of a lazy type of a lifestyle. And when I got married, I was about 180, 190, and weight slowly started to come on.
Okay. And then how long did it take for, you to gain the weight?
I would say, I mean, within the first year of marriage, I probably put on about 20 pounds, and then slowly it started building up, and I believe over the last 10 years where it ballooned significantly.
Okay. And then can you kind of give me an idea of what food looked like back then for you?
Typical kind of American diet, was a lot of meats, a lot of pizza, cookies, donuts, whatever I could get my hands on.
Okay. And then was it one of those things you just, every year you'd put on another 20 pounds, or was there a time in there? I mean, because you said you got married, you're 180, you put on 20 pounds. 200 pounds is still a far cry from 360. So what did that look like? How did that develop?
It's hard kind of to remember. I mean, all I know is that it started to get put on very rapidly. And as I said, over the last 10 years, I probably went from about 250 to 360. It's a little more than that. So I started the diet about 2 years ago. So yes, so it's about 12 years ago. Let's just say that.
Okay. And then, were there any triggers other than work and kind of a sedentary lifestyle that whenever, your weight started ramping up, was there anything going on that really caused it? Or did you just kind of become oblivious to what was really going on?
Well, stress. I think stress was related a little bit. Yeah, I would probably. I mean, if I wanted to identify, probably more stress related than anything.
Okay. And you were kind of a stress eater?
Yeah, kind of food was the comfort.
Okay. And then I think, your wife wrote an email to me. You had some medical issues, some health issues. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit, what you had going on?
So I had sleep apnea for the last, and I suffered it significantly. So it was over the last 10 years probably. Then I had high cholesterol. I was almost pre-diabetic. What else? Lack of, couldn't sleep much. Was very tired. It was, in fact, I remember that I would, sit at a computer, work, and all of a sudden, I just fall asleep because of the sleep apnea.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was very difficult.
And were some of those things diagnosed, or were those just things that you guys kind of just noticed were going on?
They were diagnosed, and then I had the sleep app machine, so that that kind of helped. Went to the doctor, and obviously, when you're over 300 pounds, you know, and I was crossing into, getting closer towards my 40s. Doctors have mentioned that, look, you're in high
Yeah.
risk of heart disease, so that, kind of in the back of my mind constantly was sitting there, like, I need to take care of it. I need to take care of it. So I've been researching a lot about bariatric surgery. Probably went to appointment with several doctors. Delayed a few times. It was probably started about 7 years ago. Went to see a doctor. Got a little scared about going under the knife, and then finally about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, decided that this can't continue. I tried several diets and wanted to go and identify the doctor, start working with him, and was actually going through a pre-surgery approval. That I got a call telling me that they won't be able to do a surgery on me because I have some medical issues.
And what was your initial thought whenever they said that?
It's because I was driving to work, scared the heck out of me. So I started asking questions. Well, why? And because I was, I don't know if you know much about bariatric surgery. They actually put you on this liquid diet for about 2 weeks. So I was about a little over a week in, and the weight started to come off, and obviously I was getting nervous. Is it because of my diet? What's going on? And found out that I wasn't cleared. They actually sent me to see my regular physician, and that's kind of light went on that they're not going to do surgery, and I need to take care of it right away.
And had you tried to lose weight before, or was this your real first attempt?
Oh no, I've tried. Tried several diets. Atkins, South Beach diet. I tried juicing. I tried. I think there's a General Motors diet. I tried everything.
Wow. And I know you have a wife and you have kids. Was there ever a conversation before with your wife about your health?
Yeah, I mean all the time. My wife is kind of a health nut, so she's been constantly nagging. You need to take care of it. You need to take care of it. You got two little kids. And she knew that. She was relieved that I started to approaching, the subject of going through bariatric surgery. But obviously, she got scared when they declined. But I kind of found myself pretty quick after when they said they're not going to do a surgery on me. So luckily, started researching it a lot, and I came across Forks Over Knives. I don't know if you've seen the movie.
Sure.
On Netflix, and kind of light went on my head that this is the lifestyle I want to do.
So did you watch the movie and the next day you were full board in, or what did that process kind of look like?
Well, what happened was, I think when they told me that I can't go through a surgery, and I was already basically weekend eating. All I've been doing is drinking this high protein shakes, and then a chicken broth every night for the whole week. I basically just starving myself, and a little over a week after, like, you know what, I could do it. So I approached the subject. I said, listen, let me try to be a vegan at least for a month. We talked about, well, there's a risk. What if you're not going to get enough protein? You're not going to get enough this. And that's when I started researching it, and I found Forks Over Knives, and that kind of moved me on from that moment on.
And how different, were you kind of open in a way to other foods previously to seeing Forks Over Knives and whatnot, or was this like a really big adjustment for you as far as what was on your plate?
I think it was a pretty big adjustment, because the way the movie showed is all the things and all the risks that I had concerned about, and kind of talked about that we need to have a protein and we need to have high protein or animal-based protein. They debunked all of that. So from that moment on, after watching a movie that was interesting, then I started researching into Dr. Campbell, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. McDougall, and all their work that they've done. And I start, actually, a friend of ours who lives in Muncie went through Dr. Campbell's nutrition program, and we got in touch through that, and then he shared some of his findings. And I was already on the way to to be a fully plant-based diet.
Wow. And then, what changes did you notice once you started eating this way?
I think what started, first of all, it wasn't easy right away, right? So the difficulty part was finding the right foods that I wanted to eat, and when you hear about vegan and you're thinking like a rabbit, all you do is you're eating greens all day long and nothing else. So thank God for my wife. She actually went and done the research on what kind of foods she could cook for me and what kind of things we could do together. And one of my bosses who I work with, he's been a vegan for the last 6 years. So it was easy for me to start sharing some recipes, sharing some ideas. Took me on to a couple of vegan restaurants, and it was it was a good transition.
Wow. So it sounds like your wife was pretty on board from the start.
She was. I mean, she was concerned that she thought it was a pretty drastic change. She thought maybe we should take it a little bit slow, just try it for a month, maybe try it for 3 months. An excuse I've said is like, let me do detox at least, for a month or two. And then when I've tried it and I've seen that I've succeeded and I saw the weight was starting to come off rapidly, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this for a year. And this is actually March 1st was my second year anniversary.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
So I know you said you had done South Beach, Atkins, General Motors diet, which I've never even heard of. How do you feel, or how did you feel, doing what you're doing now, comparatively speaking?
I feel that I think the most important thing is the mindset change. I started treating this as not as a diet way of losing weight, but as a healthy way of approaching things. And looking at, anytime I would see, either pizza or a donut or a steak or a burger, seeing like some kind of a sickness that getting inside of me, that was an easy transition.
Wow, yeah. And so, how are you doing medically now? Where are you at in terms of your sleep apnea, hypertension, migraines, cholesterol, pre-diabetic?
Sure, yeah. So migraines, that was the first ones, and I was getting them a lot through, even as I was getting initial stages of plant-based diet. I gave up coffee. I gave up milk. So I think and maybe shock to the system. For the first week, it was difficult. Then migraines went away, and I don't think I've ever had migraines since. I mean, I had headaches here and there, but no migraines. But yeah, about a year ago, I basically stopped using the sleep apnea machine, and I don't snore anymore. And then, as far as my blood work, that kind of showed right away that the cholesterol levels were dropping significantly, and the sugar levels have normalized. And I also had high blood pressure, so that normalized as well.
And then what is your, I'm guessing, it sounds like you were seeing a doctor or doctors before. What do they, what's their response to all this been?
They've been impressed with the weight loss, but what's interesting is that when I came in, they all mentioned that, you should be losing about 2 pounds a month. Like 2 pounds a month. I was losing probably 10 pounds to 12 pounds a week. And I probably would have been still over 200, maybe a little bit over 200 pounds right now.
Wow, it's crazy. have you? I guess one thing we didn't talk about at all was physically. It sounded like from what you said you were pretty inactive. Come home, watch TV, eat, repeat. But has that changed at all in the process of all this?
Yeah, so um, burst of energy that I felt right away. I didn't exercise much when at least in the first year and a half. I mean, I've tried when got on treadmill here and there, but didn't really see that much of enthusiasm going to the gym. But lately, I think over the last 3 months, that had changed. It's now I got like a refocused. Spend probably about 2 hours. Uh, 2 hours at the gym.
Wow.
Uh, yeah.
And then how has this, whole thing changed your family dynamic and home life, both with your wife and with your kids?
So kids kind of been a little bit rebellious with the food changes. So if I would have to give percentages, probably my kids eat about 90% healthy. The rest of the time when they go out with their friends, they might try having pizza or something. Um, my wife is about 99% vegan. I see her sneaking in sometimes, like a little fish here and there or eggs. But yes, so far it's been always healthy type of meals.
Awesome. And is there anything about this process that at the beginning maybe you weren't expecting? I mean, obviously you knew you wanted to lose weight, you wanted to get healthy, but is there anything about the process or about the journey that you would have just never anticipated?
I've never anticipated the success I would get. I mean, I would thought, if my initial goal was, if I reach 200 pounds, I'll be a happy man. But the energy, I guess, the energy, the joy of life, I guess, kind of being reborn. Let's just say that. So especially the compliments when people see each other. Oh my gosh! And it was funny. I was sitting at the meeting with a client who I haven't seen like probably about 2 years, and so me, my boss was sitting there, and I went through a presentation, and the client wrote on a notepad, "Who is this I'm talking to?" So as I walked out, he goes, like, "That's Yona." He was like, "No, no way! I can't believe that's Yona." He's like, "Yeah." So when I came in, he said, "I'm shocked." He goes, I never thought that you would be able to achieve where you are right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, for somebody who's kind of at the beginning of this journey and is trying to, figure their way out, what advice would you give to that person to help them, get to maybe their goals and like you even beyond?
I think the most important thing is stay disciplined. I think when you are, when you're overweight and when you're struggling with weight, the biggest thing is and the hurdle to jump is being disciplined. And that's something that by being on any of the diets that kind of what didn't work. But once you change your mindset and you focus and you understand that this is important for you, for your family, and that you are trying to improve yourself, and just stay disciplined, because yeah, you're going to have ups and downs, but you just work through them.
Awesome. And then if you could go back in time and have a conversation with yourself, 3 or 4 years ago, and give some advice or some encouragement to that person, what would you say to him?
3 4 years ago, probably 10 years ago, 10 years ago, probably tell myself, get off your butt, you know do something about it. Life is beautiful. You're shortening your life.
Well, awesome. Well, Yona, lastly, where can people, reach out to you or connect with you?
We're trying to work that. We're trying to work that out with my wife to see if we could set something up. I through email, through I'm on Facebook. They could, they could befriend me.
Yeah, I'll include a link to your Facebook page. And Yona, congrats on the weight loss, on reversing everything, and this new life that you have. And thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jason.
All right, have a good night.
Good night.